Hey guys, what's going on? Jamal here. Now, if you'll notice, I'm wearing my Mustang shirt today, which means I will be getting dirty. We're working on the car today. And what I'm actually doing today is I'm going to be replacing the water pump, and I'm going to be adding a 160-degree thermostat to my car today. Now, I have a small coolant leak coming from somewhere in the engine, and I think it's coming from the water pump area. It could just be the gaskets between the water pump and the engine block, but my water pump has never been replaced that I know of, and my car has about 150,000 miles on it, so I figured I'd go ahead and replace it. The water pump's only like $90 too, so really not that big of a deal. I don't know why I didn't do it whenever I had the cam put in. I guess I just wasn't thinking, but that has to come off when you're doing a cam anyway, so I probably should have just done that then, and now it's coming to bite me, but really not that big of a deal. I think it's pretty easy from what I've seen online. I've read a bunch of DIYs. It doesn't look to be too bad, so I got the car all jacked up already, so we're going to go ahead and get down here and get started. Now, this procedure should work on all C5 Corvettes. I'm doing it on a 2003 Z06, but for the most part, it should be the same on all C5 generation Corvettes. Now, to do this, all you really need is a basic set of tools. One thing I didn't have that I did go ahead and grab was a pair of hose clamp pliers, which I've worked on this car before, and getting the hose clamps off can be kind of a pain with just a pair of regular pliers. So these were like $12 on eBay. I went ahead and grabbed a pair just to see if they can help me out getting these hose clamps off, which that really does take a long time. So hopefully these can cut down the time on that. So the first thing we're gonna want to do here is drain the coolant. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this off. Oh my God, this is on there. And then I'll show you guys where it is down here. Basically, if you come under the car on the passenger side, you can see the radiator. This is where the coolant drains out from. And the actual drain plug is going to be... The actual drain plug is right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, right there. So basically what you do is you just stick a 1/4-inch ratchet in there, and then you can undo it, and it should come right out. Now, these apparently can break real easy, so you just want to turn it a 1/4 turn and then just kind of like try to pop it out with a small flathead screwdriver. I did read about this online, that it can be kind of a pain to get out, so we'll try not to break this one here. So while that's draining, we're going to go ahead and take the intake off. Now, I have an aftermarket intake, so this shouldn't be too bad. Go ahead and disconnect this connector here. Just pull up on it and pry it out. Move that out of the way. Oh, I tuck it behind you. And then come on this side, pull this little air fitting out there, undo the air intake here, and then I'm going to have to undo these screws here to get that out. This whole thing should pop out now. And that's what we're left with. You can see the water pump right here. There's a belt tensioner, and then that's connected to the water pump there. You got your upper radiator hose here, lower radiator hose here, the thermostat's in here, and then you have two other hoses there. Now what we're going to do is grab a 15mm wrench here and take the belt off the tensioner. Basically, to do this, you're going to want to turn the pulley, the tensioner clockwise, and then just pull the belt right off. So, put it here, turn it clockwise, and pull the belt off, just like that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and pull the belt tensioner off. It should just be two 15mm bolts that are holding it in. So, let me go ahead and get down here. Okay guys, so I just kind of turned the camera off and started working, and I actually did get the pump out. So as you can see here, I got the pump out. There's the inlet and the two inlets for the pump, transfers the coolant. There's the crank pulley, the belt. One thing I will say, those hose clamp pliers came in clutch, man. I don't think I'll ever do anything else without using those. Those things were actually amazing, and it made taking the hose clamps off a breeze. Yeah, so here's the actual water pump. I took the gaskets off of it already, but as you can see, it looks pretty old. Right here's the thermostat. I'm gonna take that apart and put it on the new water pump. This little spout, I guess. But yeah, that's it right there. I think it may have been leaking somewhere here through the bottom. Something may have just been leaking from the actual ports itself, but who knows. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart and put the new thermostat in. The OEM thermostat is actually in here, so I'm gonna take this apart and put the new one in the new water pump. So this is our new water pump, and what we're going to go ahead and do is take our 160-degree thermostat, put it in here, line up the notch here, put it in, make sure it's tight, make sure the gasket's good in there, and then we're just going to screw this back in here, like that. Out with the old and in with the new. Alright, so here comes the fun part. We're going to try to put the new water pump in without having the gaskets fall off the water pump. This is also going to be a pain. Also read online that a lot of people have trouble with this, so we'll see how this goes. Okay guys, so I actually think I got it. The bolts there are loose. There's 3 on that side and 3 on that side over there. As you can see, I think I got the gaskets in there right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten these down. I'm gonna put the camera down real quick and knock this out. The water pump is tightened on there, as you guys can see. Now all that's left to do is connect the hoses and put the belt back on, put the tensioner back on, and then fill it with coolant, and it should be good to go. Also put the intake back on. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and connect the hoses. Now as you can see, I got the 4 hoses on. There's 3 there and there's 1 there, and now the next step to do is put the belt tensioner in there. The tensioner is back on, and I also went ahead and just put the belt back on. Whenever you take the belt off, make sure you don't like take it completely off. Just kind of like set it down there, so that way you don't have to reroute the entire belt when you're done. You just or you can just do what I did and just put it back over the tensioner there. So everything should be good now. I just gotta throw the intake on and then fill it with coolant, and it should be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the intake on now, and then I'll fill it with coolant, and we're gonna go ahead and try to start it up. Hopefully everything's good. Alright guys, everything's buttoned back up. Now we just gotta fill it with coolant and start her up. Alright guys, so I kinda had to rush the ending there, and but I did get it all finished up. I put coolant in the car. I followed the GM bleed procedure for the coolant, the burp procedure. Took about a gallon of distilled water and a gallon of Dex Cool antifreeze, but yeah, we were able to get it all situated. We got the car running, everything's good with that. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the water pump, the hose clamp pliers, and some other helpful links that I use when doing the water pump or trying to figure out how to do it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please drop a comment, leave a like, consider subscribing, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.